And now, Channel R presents Discover Spotlight, an exclusive series of interviews with our favorite emerging artists, taking you behind the music.
On today's Discover Spotlight, I'm speaking with rising singer-songwriter Fergus. We went behind the making of his debut album, Love Upside Down, his songwriting process, challenges overcoming making his music, plans for what's next, and more. I hope you enjoy the next 30 minutes of Discover Spotlight.
More than I deserve, I'll make it work. Even though it hurts, more than I deserve, I'll make it work. Don't you know this hurts?
How are you getting on with everything at the moment, with the new album out, the new single?
It's been, do you know what, it's so weird because I've released, quite a lot of songs over the last 5 years, and the level of excitement just gradually kind of drops, after the first few, and you kind of learn that it's always at best slightly anticlimactic, and at worst, it's like for a day you're like, how many songs out, and then it's like nothing ever happened. It's certainly been getting better, with each release, and with more people listening and stuff like that. But this is obviously the first album and by far the biggest body of work, and the one that's taken the most amount of time and effort and moving parts to kind of get across the line. And it's like a big, it's a step up in every respect. So when it came out, I just started to feel very strange, just all this relief coming through my body, and just, it's just really up to the gods, and you just hope that it reaches people, and the people that it does reach listen to it, and they like it, and want to hear and see more.
It seems as if you were originally, it seemed to be everything was going to be based on sort of breakups or
yes,
interaction and relationships, etc. And then if you sort of turned it up on its head and sort of changed it around a bit, so it's not all that way.
Yes, originally, I had this title for a long time, which was Always Love Upside Down, and then I went through a breakup. I think maybe because of that I came up with the title, and it was going to be a breakup album, because that's what I was going through at the time, and that's where I draw from mainly with my writing, and then everything was poised for that to happen, and then we had lockdown, and I was like, God, I'm gonna have all this time to really, really dig into it and finish it. But it'd been probably, I think it was 9 months since that breakup, and I was back on the dating apps, and I met someone, and we chatted every day for a month, in lockdown. And then we finally met, and we fell in love, and we're still together. And the album I was supposed to finish, I didn't, because I was talking to this person, and the things I was writing was about that, and also about going home, and that experience, and feeling kind of childlike again, spending so much time at my parents' house with my sister, and my brother-in-law. It was just so surreal. So the album completely changed, and because there was such a big break as well of not recording, but songs were coming out, the first 4 songs off that first album had been released, and then we just cast them off, really, because they didn't fit into the new project anymore, which is, chronicles this romance, really, all my experiences of it, and the ups and downs, and the conflicts, and I think the emotions that brings up, and that's basically what the album is about, is love, and what you might experience.
Music's a great way as well anyway. I mean, we all listen to different music depending on how we're feeling, to different songs, to different genres. So if you're writing music, it's only natural then in a lot of ways that if you're feeling really happy, then more happier, things will come for a song, but obviously if you're feeling brokenhearted, etc., then that's going to come out, isn't it? So it's just natural, really, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I think, you know, people draw from different things.
Yeah.
With in their creative process, but that is what I draw from, and I'd never tried to write about happy things before this album. So that was, you know, a new experience for me. And some people, you know, that's where they want to celebrate the happiness, and that's where they draw their creativity from.
Yeah.
So it's just different for everyone, and but it is important to try and get all the sides in.
Yeah, definitely. And how does it feel having that now out, the difference then of that to what you were going to put out? How does that feel to you?
Lucky, you know, I think, I feel very lucky about it. I think, you know, the album would have been, well, I mean, I don't really know how it would have turned out, but probably too much on the side of like, you know, I feel wronged, and, you know, this person, you know, took the best from me, and, you know, all these things that you kind of they really run away with themselves, thoughts like that. And you kind of, you know, if you take a step back, you're like, do I actually really feel like that? You know, will I feel like that in 6 months' time or 6 years' time? And
yeah.
So I feel very lucky to have avoided that. I think it would have been, you know, there's songs that I was going to put on the album that I consequently haven't finished because those feelings are gone for me, and I wouldn't know how to finish those songs. And maybe they would have been really great, but I can't really dwell on that. And I'm just very happy with the body of work as it is, and the kind of platform that it's going to be to start working on the next project.
What are some of the challenges you've had to overcome, or you've had to endure, do you think, through from when you've started up until now, especially as well with COVID and everything?
I think, it's really about perseverance and preparation, you know, because, you know, it's ultimately going to come down to a piece of luck that you might be able to convert into an opportunity. And they don't come by very often. And it's a kind of after the initial, you know, first few releases, and you've seen stuff in films and you've read stories about how people just, you know, get noticed, and then it all snowballs and stuff. It's kind of doesn't really happen that much anymore because there's so many people doing it, and a lot of stories that seem like that aren't, you know, they're kind of artificially written like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of been the main thing, is just to try and develop a thicker skin and keep cultivating the belief inside that, you know, that what I'm doing is true to me and what I want to be doing, and that it will, you know, it will eventually happen. And I'm just going to make the highest quality music that I can so that it can stand the test of time, and make sure that, you know, I'm well rehearsed with the band and we're ready to go and bring people an enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
I think, and obviously COVID was a complete disaster for everyone. You know, it halted all the momentum that everyone had built, and weirdly it kind of threw everyone in the same boat together. Like even really well-known acts and people who are doing really well are suddenly kind of all scrabbling over live stream gigs and radio, and where previously you just wouldn't be in the same sentence, you know, you wouldn't be competing with them, suddenly you were, and it was like, oh god, you know. So that was hard, but it was kind of like a fresh start in a way. And, you know, again, you just have to try and see the positives and the ways to improve, and not dwell on the lost opportunities, but the opportunities that it did provide, which was, you know, this album. The live act, you know, was completely changed. I had all this time to research different ways of performing and playing our instruments and gear that could help us enrich the sound, you know, and in a way that's still organic, that we're in control of, that, you know, that isn't too reliant on pre-recorded things.
Yeah. Have you got any plans for any gigs soon, or is it this year, next year?
This year, it's, we've had some really good gigs recently. They all kind of at the moment are coming through quite last minute. And the next one we have is we're having an album release show, which was actually as we're recording this, it's tomorrow, which I've now remembered. And now starting to feel scared about. But that's going to be so celebratory, and obviously we're kind of playing some of the songs for the first time live. And hopefully we'll use that as a springboard to take them, wherever people will have them. I'm free now for the next few months, and this is my main focus is playing live. And then next year, hopefully, best case scenario, the second album will come out.
There you go. Yeah, definitely.
Keep the momentum up, and every subsequent release just helps build everything and make it so that you're someone who kind of can't be ignored anymore, and then we'll deliver on stage.
Well, you sound like you've definitely got it all worked out, where you want to go and what you want to do.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's just I'm ready to be proved wrong on everything. So, I'm just open to see where things can go. Keep going forward.
Yeah. That's the best thing, isn't it? Just keep doing what you're doing and keep going forward, because it's working. The album's out. The album's good. You're getting out and you're getting gigs, and you're going out for your new one now. Hopefully it's all positive for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I really enjoy the album. I just want to ask you one more thing. Were you just starting out yourself? Well, you've been out for a few years, but as in quite a new artist yourself. What advice would you have for any new artists that are just wanting to step out now and start getting music out?
I would say the first thing is just to do it. It's kind of, you can only start to earn your stripes by doing it, and it's going to involve making mistakes, and you just have to believe that you're going to grow, and every next thing you make is going to be informed by the last one and be better in some way, and you just have to really believe in what you're doing, and be prepared that people probably won't get it, but that's okay, because there's a whole world of people, and there's so many of them will be into what you're doing. It's just very hard to reach those people at the start. Yeah. So you just have to keep going, and you'll receive knockbacks, and people will offer you unsolicited advice about what you should be doing, and sometimes the advice might be good, but sometimes it's just would be a step in the wrong direction. You have to maintain your artistry and your integrity, and do things the way you want to do them. Well,
it's been really lovely speaking to you. I wish you well with your album, and I hope you do get out and get some gigs and everything. Good luck for tomorrow.
Cheers, thank you.
I'm sure you'll be great, and enjoy it.
I will. Yeah, no, this is the one that's going to be just hard. It'll be very difficult to not enjoy it, just because I feel so happy to have this album out, and there'll be a lot of friendly faces there, and everyone wants you to do well. So well,
that's good.
It's going to be really fun.
Well, you have a great time. Enjoy yourself, and thanks ever so much for giving us time today.
No worries. Yeah, thank you, Tara.
All right, really you're welcome. Take care, Fergus. Good luck.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Just kiss goodbye to everything I know we're both to blame, and I still hope someday your circumstances change, but I won't let it breathe, but I won't let it breathe, but I won't let it breathe.
Thanks for listening to Discover Spotlight. More music from the hottest emerging artists continues next on Channel R Discover.